and welcome to this Business of the Outdoor episode, where today we're going to be talking to you about the secret to success in an outdoor business and getting the lifestyle you want. And honestly speaking, we believe that these 3 tips will blow you away. So, Mark, what's your view on a business and it contributing to your lifestyle? What's your personal take on it?
My personal take is very, very simple. I'm going to answer that in the typical Mark roundabout way. So too often people try and do this thing called balance, which is they try and balance their life, which I always imagine balancing like I was a 10-year-old or 8-year-old in a playground on a seesaw. And you know when you've got no one else to play with, so the only thing you do is you stand in the middle of the seesaw and you're trying to get it to hover horizontally.
Yeah.
And if you literally tip your earlobe one way, it tips down the other way, and you spend your whole life trying to correct your world. That's how I see most business owners run their life, because they're constantly trying to balance all these things that are just impossible to balance. You cannot grow a massive business or big business and please everybody at the same time. It is impossible because you're going to have to make sacrifices and choices. So for me, it is all about starting with, what do I want this business to do for me? And being completely honest with you and your loved ones to say, I want this business to take us as a family to this destination over this time of period. In order for me to do this, to give us what we want, this is what we are going to have to do. So I don't believe in balance. I think it's the biggest lie that's been put out there with these so-called leadership experts. It's just bullshit. It doesn't exist. It's impossible. You've got to think about the relationships that you have in your life and how to integrate them all into one, of which your business is there to do one thing and one thing only: generate the lifestyle that you want.
Which is interesting because most of the business advice out there is how to grow a business to be Amazon sized, for instance, or Facebook sized, or one of the big platforms, or one of the big businesses. And yet, you can have the lifestyle you want in your outdoor business doing nothing more than working out of your truck from your garage at home and having an office in your front room, and that's your outdoor business. And probably it could put $100,000 to $200,000 in your back pocket every year and give you a really cool lifestyle. Whereas, you think, what's all that usual advice, Mark? It's about scale it and get premises and employ more staff and buy more stuff. I don't think you need to do that. I don't think you have to do that to have the lifestyle you want. And I think that's where people get conflicted. They know what they want in terms of a lifestyle, but then they take all of the usual business advice, and actually that usual business advice often, in our experience, takes people away from the lifestyle they want.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with my son last night, and he is, as you know, a mad soccer fan. And his dream is to become a professional soccer player. Now, the US it's getting there, but it's not well known yet as a hotspot of football, soccer talent. It's not, but I was looking at stats and I was trying to speak to Seth without curbing his dreams, is less than 1% of all soccer players in the US become professionals in the US.
Yep.
Less than 1%. And it's a little bit like business. Yes, you may have aspirations to grow an Amazon type business, but the realities of actually doing that in the outdoors is very, very, very slim. So don't set up your business to be an Amazon with all those overheads, as complexities, the processes and the systems, if that's not A, where you are now, and B, what you want your lifestyle to be.
That's it, because if you think about what growing a Amazon-sized business, even $100 million business, if you think what that really involves, actually it involves huge amounts of hard work doing stuff you probably don't want to do for obscene amounts of hours per week for years on end to achieve it. I mean, what's Amazon now, 22 years old or something like that? And, now they're huge. So it's taken years, but it's taken Jeff Bezos a divorce. It's taken him. I read a book about it once, talking about 60 to 90-hour working weeks for the first 11 years of building Amazon. Will that really give people the lifestyle they want? And Mark, it's not for you or I to tell people what lifestyle it is they want. That's their decision, but they have to align their aspirations for business linked to that decision about what lifestyle they want. Otherwise, they're just never going to get any of the above, really.
Well, again, if you look at the stats of why lots of small businesses collapse, now I think that there's the McKinsey, the Bain, they're the BC, the Boston Consulting Group answers, which is they run out of cash. But I think the reality is very, very different, because no business owner really admits this. The business owner basically realized pretty quickly that it's going to take a lot more work to build a business to what it is that they're willing to sacrifice in terms of the lifestyle that they had previously, and they're not patient enough to wait for that lifestyle to come back. And also, they probably know deep down that if they want to run a big business, they're never going to get the lifestyle really until they sell the business, because it's very, very difficult to go back to this word balance. To balance or integrate running a big business and basically being on holiday and doing all the cool stuff you want to do, because the buck starts with you. Like we're a big fan of a company called Gymshark. We're a big fan of the company called Gymshark because of the journey that the owner, Ben Francis, has been on. You know, he's done the work, but then very, very cleverly, he's stepped aside and he's gone into a role that he really, really enjoys. And you would have thought that the founder, the owner, would be the CEO. No, he's got to employ people who are so much better at running a business. And he's done what he's loved, which is designing products.
I say he's now Chief Product and Innovation Officer or something like that. Like he's got a CEO who's his boss in a weird sort of way.
Yeah. And I think that's what we're advocating a little bit is too often we go and sit down and we go with it. Well, a business owner will go, I want to earn X. And then you ask the question, what do you want to do with X? What kind of lifestyle do you want to do? And it's a blank piece of paper. They don't, until they actually go away. And then you ask the question, well, what does your loved ones want from you? Like you and I, we make conscious decisions all the time around doing what we do and supporting the outdoors and outdoor business owners. But you and I are adamant that we're not going to do that at the expense of our kids.
100%.
We are going to integrate our kids into what we do. And when we go on trips, the kids come with us. When you and I have strategy sessions, we bring the family with us because it all becomes part of, and your wife comes up with some cracking ideas for the business. And because they're all part of the family, that's part of the lifestyle that we want for We Get Outdoors.
So I guess the first starting point, and maybe the first of these 3 tips that we promised, is know exactly what you want in terms of your lifestyle, and then arrange your business to suit what it is that you want in your lifestyle. So if you want, and don't fool yourself, if you want a $100 million business with a high profit margin, it's interesting, Mark, in the outdoors, I've been doing some research recently. There's actually a fair number of $100 million businesses out there, but that figure's measured in turnover. And I'd put my bottom dollar that the percentage of profit out of that is probably about 1% by the time you get to the end of it. So the big what a business is worth and how much it turns over isn't very interesting for me personally. I'm much more interested in how much profit it can spit out. Because that's the bit which actually pays for our lifestyle, doesn't it, really? It's the profit part. So, Mark, when people are thinking about what do they want in terms of lifestyle, to know exactly what they want, what are some of those categories of life maybe they should consider when they are deciding what sort of lifestyle they'd like?
So I think the one that people, they use this word vacation, but I think business owners really, and again, you're going through quite a hectic period of your time, man, with juggling lots of balls and growing lots of stuff. I think the most important part for any business to think about from a lifestyle point is how do I recharge? And I think that's got to be number one. You've got to be so disciplined in the lifestyle that you have that you block off time to recharge your batteries. Because if you are a growing business the business revolves around you. And if you are not on the top of your game, you're going to make silly mistakes that could cost your business. So again, don't talk about vacation. Talk about recharging your batteries and be really, really clear about what you need as the business owner and how you can integrate other loved ones into it. So I think that's the first one. I think the second thing I always think about is what can I have in my day-to-day life that makes my life as easy as possible. So I build my lifestyle around ease because human beings, we're fundamentally lazy human beings. We want to do the least amount of work and get the biggest reward. So every part of my lifestyle is about how do I make my life as simple as possible. So I think the first one's pretty clear, recharge batteries now to do it. The second one is you've got 365 days in your year, in your lifestyle year. Everyone thinks a lifestyle is just those 2 weeks that we go on holiday or whatever. No, 365 days. So what can you do every single day to make your life as easy and simple as possible? Those are my big two.
Cool. And I like that buying things to make your life simpler or easier. I think that's a really high priority because you can buy lots of very shiny things that actually can make your life more complicated. So it's what's going to make my life easier. If you're going to buy a car, buy the most reliable vehicle that you can buy so it doesn't break down very often. And I think, Mark, that's the level of practical simplicity you're actually thinking about, isn't it? Is that like buy reliable stuff so it doesn't break down, so I don't have to be in the garage every 4 weeks.
Exactly. And again, I think it's looking at things that going, well, we all like a deal, but again, what deal? What's that deal? And again, everyone thinks about the deal in the here and now. I always think about a deal in the next 6 months. Because that's the most important thing for me. It's like you said, I don't want to be wasting my time going back and forward fixing stuff. When if I would have made a better decision for my lifestyle, I'd have saved myself 30, 40 hours. So it's really, and it's just very, very important that you, and again, you and I I think we're quite good at this. We protect each other. I nag you and boss you around. And I even take Calendly links out of you so you don't get more meetings in your diary. And that's all about lifestyle because that then allows you to not work at 8 o'clock at night and actually go and read Caitlin a book or sit down with Kerry and watch a movie together. And that's lifestyle. So I think it's things that you could do which cost money, such as reliable stuff. There's things that you can do which doesn't cost money, which recharges. And there's things that you can do every single day that protects what's really, really important to you. That's how I build my lifestyle for We Get Outdoors.
Cool. So the second point that we're going to have a little chat around in these 3 tips is around attaching your ego to your lifestyle as opposed to your business success. I think this is, if you want your business to give you a lifestyle, you have to stop focusing on the I'm a business owner part of your ego and start focusing on the boastfulness that you can have of I've had 12 weeks recharging my batteries doing adventurous stuff that I love with my family this year, or I only work 4 hours a day, or whatever it may well be. And I think we have to go and switch, which is hard because the world will always not necessarily appreciate the fact that you're not boasting about the business. Oh, you're a business owner. You should be proud of it. You should be this, you should be that, you should be whatever else. Actually, I think we should be more proud of, taking your kids to school in the morning and picking them up at the end of the day every day, and actually having some time with your kids. I think that's something that we should be far more proud of and have our ego attached to than, I've got 16 employees or whatever it may well be.
I think the pandemic's really sort of sped that whole process up. I think gone are the days of people talking about job titles and salaries. I don't see them meaning as much to people as they used to. Like I've been recruiting quite recently, and normally you prepare yourself for a negotiation around package. Now it was a negotiation around working environment. How much do I get to work at home? It was a negotiation around ensuring that my leadership style. What's your leadership style, and how are you going to adapt your style to ensure that you make me successful? And they're really cool questions that have gone away from the old, I want an extra $3,000, please. And I think that's exactly what you're saying. I think a lot of the world is starting to realize that it is more about what you do with what you have than what you have in the first place. And I think that, and again, we're seeing it in all walks of life. We're seeing, again, more people going, like these sailboat sales have gone through the roof this year, because everyone's starting to realize that if I've got a bit of money, well, I might as well spend it and do what I can with it, because I might be in lockdown again, therefore I can't do it.
Very, very much so. So I think in this lifestyle thing, we should work out what it is that we really want and what we really want to be proud of, and almost divorce ourselves from that pressure that other people make. A great example would be my mother-in-law. She always asks me, how's business? That's one of her standard questions. At the moment, I'm like, yeah, business is good. And she's like, are you going to get offices? I'm like, probably not. And it is a nice question for her to ask, but because it's a logical question for her to ask. Do you know what I mean? It's like a social conditioned question. And what she struggles to see, and maybe that's because we don't show it well enough, I don't know, is the fact that, I pick up my daughter from school every day, and my daughter and I make dinner together every day. And that's not something that she sees at the front of her mind. She sees the business as being the thing that Rob should be focusing on, having big muscles about. And actually, for me, it's the dadding part of, 3:45, 4 o'clock through till 6:30, where we get to hang out with my daughter and do cool stuff and make dinner together and whatever else. That's actually the bit of my day that I'm really proud of. The business stuff is just, it's a vehicle to achieve it. And it's a really cool vehicle because I really like the outdoors. So I love the outdoors. So I guess the business bit is something I love. And then I get to, that then supports something I love even more, which is my kids.
So do you know, okay, my opinion, what did you think is the most stupid, overrated, backward, negative word in the business world from a business owner point of view? Just pick one word.
I've got a list. Pivot is one.
My word is busy.
Oh,
because
yes.
How's business? How are things? How are you? I'm busy. Okay, well, that's just a stupid word. But it's a really big mind shift change. Like, my son finishes school at 1:45. Like you, when he lives with me, which is my week this week, I go and pick him up from school at 1:45, and you can see other people going, "What? It's work." It's like, well, I don't care. Work. I make my work around my priorities. Like when people talk about like May. So what's my May look like from a business point of view? Well, I'm doing a 4-day trail run through a Big 5 game reserve. That's been pretty cool. Also in May, I'm doing a 4-day hike up to in the mountains, up to about 3,500 meters, sleeping on the top there. That's pretty cool. That's business. And that's, and I agree. I think we're almost as 40-year-olds, we're in that mid bit between our parents' age, who view success as offices, the cars you drive, how many employees you have, and then the 20-year-olds who are looking at the world differently. Let's say that politically correct. And we're in the middle.
I think, Mark, that the word busy has been misinterpreted. Because we can all be busy fools, right? We can all run around like filling our time. I think if you were to say, and I've done this, I can do the non-creative part of my job in 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. The non-creative part, the stuff that you have to do that you don't particularly want to do, that stuff. Or that's how it is for me anyway. And so my game with myself is almost how busily productive can I be in that 2 to 3 hours to get all of that stuff done and out of the way, to free up my time to actually think, to enjoy the business, to be creative, which takes a lot of mental capacity. But if you look at most businesses, they're so stuck because the owner's so busy doing of the business. And what they really need is an immense amount of creativity to go and develop the business to the next level or to the thing they want it to be. But they don't actually have the time to stop and think about, what do I need to do? How do I need to do it? With whom do I need to do it? When do I need to do it? And how can I do it in a way where my competition isn't going to be able to compete with me quite so easily in the future? Do you know what I mean? Those sorts of questions. And I think that not giving yourself time to be creative in your business, I think, is probably one of the biggest problems that's stopping you having the lifestyle people having the lifestyle they want.
Yeah, and let's be practical, because there's business owners going, Rob, that sounds all well and good. I agree, but I cannot afford to bring another person into my business to free me up to do that. Which, if you look at your current cash flow, that might be factually correct. I still believe with the right viewpoint and looking at your business through a new lens, I'm pretty sure you can cut out some expenses that's going to fund it. But that's a different conversation. But the bit to think about is what Rob said is, what are you losing in additional revenue and profit by you not growing that business, by you not creating that time to do it? And I've seen this in many, many businesses I've worked with, that you're almost looking at 10 times growth in revenue for the cost. And this is minimum. 10 times growth in your business revenue to the cost of that one extra person that you think you can't afford to employ to take away all that rubbish stuff that you're doing to free you up. And 10 times is a minimum number of investment.
It was very interesting, Mark, that when I was growing my first business, I went through this stage. And one of the most painful things I did, so at that stage, I was busy personally in my business, often training coaches, guides, leaders, that sort of stuff in the outdoors. And I was doing that 5 or 6 days a week, often either having people come to me or me freelancing myself to other people. It was that was that combination of programs that I hosted and other people's programs that I directed. And I got to the point where I was having advice about growing the business, and I never had time to actually go and put it into practice and really think about it and digest it. And so for 4 months, I went and took 1 day of delivery a week out of my schedule. So 4 days a month. And it sounds like quite a lot, and it felt initially like quite a lot. But I didn't lose the whole of that day's wage because I dropped down, paid less income tax, and so I probably lost, 60%, 50% of that day's wage in reality by the time you'd paid less tax and whatever else. And after 3 or 4 months, suddenly I'd come up with 3 different varieties of programs that other people could run for me as opposed to me running myself. And that meant I actually got to go and take another day out of me directing and delivering programs, because suddenly those programs had backfilled that extra day and the day I'd already sacrificed. And I was back to now having the same sort of level of turnover and cash flow, but I personally wasn't chained to the business 6 days a week, training instructors, coaches, guides, and leaders, which gave me the time to enjoy things, but also the time to think. And I think that's probably the thing that's missing, is having that time to think on your business.
And I'm pretty sure the trigger to get you to think probably wasn't those people you were taking advice from. The trigger to get you to think was a frustration that you were feeling inside of yourself and inside of the business, that you were starting to get a little bit trapped by the business. You were starting to not be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And those are those triggers that you were going, something is off. And that's why what we're saying is you've always got to go back and attach your ego to the lifestyle, because by doing that, it'll ensure that you stay true to why you set the business up in the first place. And yes, there's a financial, we need money to survive. So we're not belittling the need for income. But I think we're proofs of it, and a lot of our clients are proofs of it, that as soon as you remove the attachment to the income and put the attachment to the lifestyle that the income can generate, it becomes a much more meaningful business to you and to those around you, because they get to see the benefit of it because you're communicating to them in a different way.
That's it. Absolutely nailed on the head. I think that's fantastic. Okay, so let's go on to our point number 3, which is get the right advice from people who already have what it is that you want, and you'll know it's the right advice because it won't be people who are advocating you to grow a business in the way that if you were to search on Google or look at McKinsey or any of the big consulting, Boston Consulting Group, Mark, you mentioned, Harvard Business Review, it won't be the same advice as they're giving, because they're focused on a growing your business, an Amazon-style business. That was the example we used earlier. Where you're just going to pursue growing for the sake of growing. And that probably won't give you the lifestyle you want. So you need to get out there and take new advice from new people. Otherwise, you're just going to keep getting what you've already got.
Yeah, and it's looking at those people who, there's 2 ways you do this. Like, one is you look at somebody who's a Warren Buffett. As Jesus, say, and you go someone who's so far out of your comfort zone, but you also realize that probably their advice is going to be a little bit around where they are now, and it's going to be quite a big chasm between where you are and where you maybe want to head towards. Going to find somebody who is 1, 2, 3, probably maximum 5 years ahead of you is such a good space. There's little things like as you know, we're looking at things that we're going to be doing within We Get Outdoors, be it villages that we're going to buy, boats that we're going to buy. Now, I'm speaking to cruisers who have been sailing now on their own boat for about 2 years. So after 2 years, they've got a pretty good idea of what works, what doesn't work. They've tried 2 or 3 things, and it's still 100% fresh in their memory. So when I ask them about spinnakers, they're going, yeah, we tried this, we tried that, didn't work. In the current conditions, in the seas that you're going to sail in, this is our recommendation. So it's tying. So I'm speaking to people who've got the same type of lifestyle as me. I'm speaking to people who have a similar type of budget to me, because there's no point in me going to speak to someone who says, go and spend $100,000 on a sail, my budget's $2,000. It's just a pointless conversation. So they've got to have a similar kind of budget to me. And also, I want to know that they've made mistakes and failed a little bit. Because if they haven't, if they're able to say, when I ask the question, well, what went wrong? They say nothing. Well, it's like, well, you're lying to me then. Or you haven't pushed yourself out of your comfort zone, therefore you're not really helping me. So I think it's very, very important when speaking to other people is really important, but don't go and speak to your best mate's dog walker's uncle who 20 years ago ran a big sales team and had a budget of $10 million, because I'm not sure that advice is going to be really replicable in your business.
So I think people can filter out with 2 easy questions or easy thoughts who it is who's best to get advice from. So number 1, if this person or who you ask for some advice, if this person says, what do you want your business to achieve, probably you should walk away. If they say to you, what do you want your business to do for your life and lifestyle and your family, friends and loved ones, etc., probably that's a person you want to talk to. Doesn't mean to say you're not going to grow a big business. You're just going to grow a business that is right for the type of lifestyle it is that you want. So maybe you do want to work 80 hours a week and you do want to go and grow a $500 million outdoor business or bigger, then cool. I'll take my hat off to you. Brilliant. Go do it. That's the lifestyle you want. That's the decision you've made. But from what I'm picking up in the industry, that's not what most people want. The second thing is that person having the lifestyle you want themselves? I'll tell a little story, Mark, about one of our recent, actually, we've screwed this up twice and we're not going to screw it up again, in as much as we've used outsourced or freelance social media so-called experts to help us grow our business, right? And the question that we are going to ask in future that we haven't asked in the past is, how much money do you put into Facebook to grow your business, and what return on investment does it give you? Now, it's not about the money. That's the question we need to ask. What we're really asking is, do you do successfully what it is that we need you to do for us? So if you want somebody to help you have a lifestyle of your dreams, make sure that that person has successfully got the lifestyle of their dreams, because then they will support you to go do the same. If they don't have it, frankly, they're just reading business books and repeating them to you, in which case, just go buy the bloody business books. It'll be cheaper and easier.
Yeah, I think it's really, really good advice. I think what we're saying and advocating quite strongly is having somebody to help you take the blinkers off and challenge you to look at your business through different lenses is one of the most important things that you can have in your business. But the big but comes in. Make sure that you are able to articulate where you want the business to go for you. Because those two things have to be aligned. Because don't forget, a lot of people out there are driven by one thing, which is getting a testimonial from you because they've tripled the size of your business. What they're not going to say in the testimonial is, I worked with Rob, I tripled his business, but I also made him divorce, his kids hate him, and he now longer has no life. That's not the testimonial. So what we're saying very strongly is you have to think about the two parts in that equation. The business is there to do one thing and one thing only: give you and your loved ones the lifestyle that you deserve.
That's it. And I think that's the most important thing to finish off with. Now, if any of you out there want to do one of two things to start working out how you want your lifestyle to be, or how it is that you can get your business to better give you that lifestyle, we're going to give you two opportunities right here, right now. And one of those is the second week of May. I think second week of June. I think June 14th, Mark, right?
Yeah, 14th.
We've got a $5 5-day boot camp where we're going to be looking at just this topic. And we call it How to Grow Your Business Without Chaining Yourself to a Desk. What it really means is how to grow your business and have the lifestyle you want. So we're going to be doing that just for $5. And if we don't deliver what it is we promise within those 5 days, we'll give you the $5 back. So it's a price of 1.5 cups of coffee. And frankly, if you can't afford $5 and time over 5 days to grow your business, you'll never have the lifestyle you want anyway. So that's that. Or the second thing is, if you want to take immediate action and have some time with Mark or myself in the next 10 days to talk about your business, your lifestyle, what it is you want, and how we can help you achieve it, achieve effectively what it is we've got, then the link for both of those is below. So remember, take action, because these things don't hang around forever. And I think we've got about 6 hours in the next 10 days to take calls. So go and see if there is some availability, but do it fast. Mr. Hopkins, anything from yourself in closing?
Go and be crystal clear about what you want to spend 2022 doing. Think about that now, put it into your diary now, and then make sure that your business is aligned to achieving that.
Awesome. Well, that's it from us. If this has been useful, please share, like, and subscribe, and tell your friends and tell other outdoor business owners. Go out there and support your community genuinely. Apart from that, we'll see you next week. Thanks for your time. My name's Rob Yates. This is Mark Hopkins, and we Get Outdoors.